Oh, hi there. Welcome to the channel. This is going to be my first video. Basically I'm blogging basically my journey from the start of getting my first blood work test done. And I'll be able to then look back at this in a few years. Maybe someone will be able to see this and make some decisions in their life as well. It might help some other people, so that's another reason that I'm making this video. But before I get into anything, I just want to say that I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to get someone to go and do what I've done, nothing like that. And I don't know anything about steroids or drugs. I'd never done anything in the past. The strongest thing I'd taken in the past was creatine. But I've always exercised my whole life. Been a personal trainer for 10 years. I've always done sport. I've always stayed active, healthy. So yeah, I went and got some blood work done because I wasn't feeling good. I'll go into symptoms in a little bit. But the blood work that I've got done has come back. I'm actually 6 weeks into the protocol since the blood work, into my TRT. And I'm going to go over the results today. But first, I may as well go through what got me to actually making the decision of getting blood work done to see if I had anything wrong with me in the first place. So symptoms that I had were basically the worst thing that I had that I wanted to fix from it was tiredness and brain fog. Every day I'd be really tired and just foggy brain, just like I'm stuttering now. No, it just wouldn't be able to add up in work if I had to do any banking. I'd lose my track of thought all the time. I just felt really dumb sometimes. It wouldn't be every day, but most days I'd have brain fog and be very tired. I'd have to drink coffee to get through the day. So yeah, that was a big thing for me. I wanted to improve on those energy levels, and I thought if I get the blood work done and it comes back that I'm perfectly fine in my testosterone rates, then it's just me. I need to pull my finger out and change my diet maybe a bit more, even though I was already eating really healthily. But if it comes back fine, then you need to pull your finger out. It's your fault. You've obviously just negative tosser. But the other things I was suffering from was bad sleep. I couldn't get to sleep at night. This wasn't a problem in the past. I was waking up a lot in the night. Mood swings. I was getting fat in areas that I hadn't been in the past. So around my lower stomach, torso area was getting pretty flabby, like big Buddha. I was getting some slight boob action around the back of my arms, was getting quite flabby, and around my face. Another symptom was I was breaking bones pretty easily. Toes, fingers, quite a lot. I don't know why. I'm clumsy, but I shouldn't just break things as easily as they were breaking, believe me. And then just a loss of drive in life, just was losing motivation. I just felt like, do you know when you feel trapped, when you have to go to work and you feel like, what's the point? That's almost how I felt. And I never used to feel like that. I used to be very driven, work motivated, and always wanting to improve. So it just didn't feel like myself basically anymore. It felt like there was something wrong. I also couldn't improve in the gym anymore. And being a personal trainer for 10 years, I know about progressive overload. I know about putting programs together and eating correctly, and just was not getting any results in terms of changing my body or improving in weight. So improving in the weight I was lifting. I mean, so yeah, that was another symptom that I couldn't improve in the gym anymore, which kind of ruined the fun of the gym, because if you're just stuck in a plateau forever, it feels like very hard to motivate yourself. Why do I think that all this started? Why I potentially have lower T going into, I was 29 when I got my blood work done initially. I'm 30 now. Well, one of the first things that I think has given me symptoms is when I was younger, when I was 16, I was playing football and someone kicked me in the bollocks. It's pretty fucking painful. Right in the testicles. And then a couple of years after this, I went and had a scan because I was getting some pain in my testicle, in my right one, and I have a varicocele. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but a vein which is enlarged in the testicle. It is quite common, and I'll wake up in the night sometimes and my testicle will have rotated and I'll have to jiggle it and twist it and get it back into place. It's horrific, but then I'll be able to get back to sleep. But that was happening more and more in the last year or so. So I think that was lowering my production of testosterone because of my testicles were not working properly anymore. They weren't functioning correctly. Another thing was stress. When I was 28, my father passed away. That was a stressful time for me, and I don't think I've fully recovered from it, to be honest, from the stress. And then finally, during that stressful time, to get over it, I went to Thailand for 6 weeks and I got very bad food poisoning, which up until about 2 months ago, because I've also started thyroid medication, which I really feel like has helped. It lasted about a year of symptoms from the food poisoning. When I initially got it, I lost a lot of weight straight away, like 3 to 4 kilos in 2 days, of just pure ploppiness. I should have gone to hospital, to be honest, whilst I was in Thailand, but I was too stubborn. I just lay in bed for a week. I went to a pharmacist. The pharmacists there are a lot better than the UK, I'd say, if I'm honest. She knew her shit. She gave me some good stuff. But the symptoms lasted all year after that, and the NHS took quite a long time between appointments to get me sorted. So then eventually I just thought, right, well, I'm still not feeling right. I'm going to get a test through private, see where my thyroid is, because they told me that it was borderline, and my testosterone, because I was having symptoms for that. So yeah, I'll get into the results now, my initial results, and then I'm now 6 weeks into my TRT protocol, so I'll show you the results after I've started as well. The doctor has prescribed me Clomid and Proviron, rather than giving me testosterone injections, which I was over the moon about when he said that, because basically the Clomid is making my own testicles produce again, which is a brilliant feeling that my body's creating it itself rather than just stabbing myself with testosterone all the time, which is probably going to be something that I'll have to go to in the long run. I don't know. It depends if this works forever or not. I feel like it won't, but because I'm young, he said that I can get away with starting with this, and we'll see how it goes. And so far it seems to be going okay, which you'll see in the blood work in a moment. So yeah, the Clomid is to get my bollocks to basically produce the testosterone they're supposed to be doing, and then the Proviron is to free up the testosterone, because of SHBG will also be going up with the testosterone. So the Proviron is to stop that going up too much and then free it up more, so I have more free testosterone, so I feel better. I'll be able to build muscle again, and use my actual testosterone rather than it just going in the bin. And then the other medication I've been put on is levothyroxine, which is a thyroid medication as well. So yeah. Okay, so here's the results. You can see the date there, 10th of July for the first test, and this is my blood work first. So you can see that it's all relatively okay blood work wise, apart from the neutrophils, which the doctor said that can go up and down quite a lot throughout the year, just kind of depending on if you've been fighting off any sort of virus, if you've had a cold slightly, any sort of illness, then that can go a little low because of it's involved in fighting off infections. So he said there's nothing to really worry about there, but it does pop up low again in my second test. So he said he was going to keep an eye on that. So yeah, the biochemistry. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I don't know as much as I probably should do trying to describe all this. I've tried to do some research, but I'm not a genius. My iron, though, is good. Normally iron's quite low when you're feeling shit. My vitamin D also came up as good, which you'll see a bit lower down. Kidney function, all fine. I can't remember his explanation for why this may be high, but he said it's nothing to worry about. So we'll keep moving. We'll skip past the testosterone for a second, keep you waiting. Thyroid. So thyroid was one of the things that I was really interested in getting sorted because I'd been told it was borderline. You can see it's all in the normal here, but he said that THS there, TSH, sorry. So it's a little high, and he'd like to get that number a little lower. Vitamin D, B12's all fine. So my diet is obviously not deficient. If anything, I'm having too much B12 there. It's through the roof almost. It's probably the multivitamin that I have, as well as eating a lot of meat. But yeah, then we'll get into my my lipids and then my testosterone. So bones are actually coming up okay, like calcium. It's all in the normal again. But I was breaking fingers and toes quite a lot, which is a sign that estrogen can be out as well. Lipids here, my cholesterol's fine, LDL's healthy, HDL's healthy, all pretty good there. And then we'll get into the actual meat of it now, the actual hormones for my testosterone. So you can see that it's not terrible. It's all in the normal range. My testosterone, I've scored 17.4, which on the American scale is like, it's about 540, which is okay, but for a 29-year-old, a 30-year-old, not great. I think mid-40s would be okay for maybe the 500 mark. I was hoping for more like 800, 900, 700 would have been great, like testosterone wise. But yeah, you don't want to be bang in the middle at 29 years old, because this normal range is for the general public which don't exercise. They may exercise as well, though. I'm not saying that everyone doesn't exercise, but it's for all ages as well. It can go up to like 90 years old, this range. There's no actual age range. So me being bang in the middle of that for potentially being an 80-year-old man, it's, yeah. Free testosterone, 0.4. which is again in the normal range, so it looked like it was okay. I did have this test done twice, my blood work for a testosterone and free test. In the second test, it actually came up that my testosterone was a bit higher, but my free test was more like a 0.3, so it was quite a lot lower in my second test, which was about a week after this one. FSH and LH, my sex hormones, are in the middle to lowish. So I'm obviously not producing very well there. SHBG is good. Progesterone being high, he said he thinks that my body's producing more of that to make up for the lack of testosterone, and that was his explanation for that being high. Hopefully I've said that right. So yeah, free test is bang in the middle, but that's for all ages and whether you exercise or not. For a 29-year-old who's exercised his whole life, eaten healthily and trains 5-6 times a week, I would want that to be higher. And I feel like this was the reason that I wasn't feeling good, because there's obviously something out of whack there. And I feel like it must have been higher when I was younger. Anyway, we'll get on to the next page now. You can see that this test was done on the 3rd of November, 6 weeks after me starting my TRT protocol with the Clomid, Proviron and my thyroid medication. First thing you can see straight away is my blood work's a little bit high, but they assured me that in some tests this would still be in the normal range. It's very slightly high, and it was to be expected that my blood was going to go higher. If anything, it might make me better at cardio, having more red blood cells, more hemoglobin. Neutrophils popped low again. All my other results were okay. Cholesterol's still okay, which is good. But then, obviously, most importantly, why you probably all hear is the testosterone. So, this time came to 40, with the max being 29. So it's gone up considerably. It's more than doubled my testosterone. And my free testosterone has more than doubled as well. So it's well over the normal range now. FSH and LH has also gone really high. Estrogen's gone high as well. I'm not worried about this though, as the doctor explained to me that estrogen's going to have to go up if my testosterone's gone up. So the fact that my testosterone's high, my estrogen will have to go high as well just to be in line with that. You can't just have sky high testosterone and no estrogen, because your body still needs estrogen for your mental health, growth in your bones and in your hair. It's very important to have estrogen as well. Lots of guys think that estrogen's the devil. It's really not. Guys need it as well, just as much as we need testosterone. But testosterone is more important for us men, obviously. SHBG's gone up a little bit, but hardly a lot compared to the amount my testosterone's flew up. So, yeah, blood work, very happy with. Yeah, so as you can see, my testosterone's gone up very nicely. My body's creating that itself as well, which is nice to know. I feel like for me, if I was going to make this jump and start taking something that does mess with my hormones, which is a big decision, I wanted it to be the smallest thing possible, like the lowest dose of something possible to help me. And to see that this is helping my body create its own testosterone is a nice feeling, rather than just jumping on gear, basically. My intentions were not to get big and strong and like jacked and be the next Arnie. That's not why I'm going down this line. things that I want to improve, like I said at the start, with brain fog, feeling better, having that drive back, motivation again. But then there is some egotistical things, don't get me wrong. Getting fat around areas that I didn't used to get fat was shit. Having flab in areas, it's not nice. Not nice. I used to be able to, I'm one of those people that could eat pizza and cake all the time and still have a six pack because I could just train it off. And then nowadays it's really hard for me to do a cut, and I'll still keep fat around the belly area, to be honest, even when I really put graft in and cut the calories. So that was frustrating, and that's the ego side of it as well. I'm not going to act like that bit's not there. But specifically, it's been like being tired and feeling like shit that preempted me to get my blood work done to see where it was at. As you saw, it wasn't like my testosterone levels were low, but with the symptoms I had, I feel like it was lower than what it used to be, because I didn't feel that way a year or two prior to that, and I was fed up of feeling that way. So I mean, 500 and odd on the American scale, it's for a 29-year-old it's not great, but it's not terrible either. It's not hypergonadal really, but for my age it's still not optimal either. So now I'm definitely optimal. Maybe a little too high if anything. We'll see how he's on. I'll have blood work done again in the future. In the next video, I'm going to be explaining how I feel now and the results and what I've seen so far in the 6 weeks. I didn't want to do that in this video so it doesn't get too long. But yeah, I'll go over all that in the next video. Yeah. If you've enjoyed it, if you've found it slightly interesting, even though I have very low knowledge, even if you maybe can relate, subscribe, follow, share it, and keep an eye out for the next video so you can see how I'm feeling 6 weeks into the protocol and into my medication, and you'll be able to keep on with me in this journey and see how I progress.